Good morning, my friends. Lacey Parrish here this morning to share just a moment of reflection and devotion with you. Today, our devotion is actually coming from the 27th Psalm, verses 13 and 14. From the New International Version, it says this: I remain confident of this: I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord. I've been thinking a lot the last few weeks about waiting and how realizing just how really impatient I am. I feel like I don't wait well in a society where everything is so instantaneous, right? We are surrounded by so many things that happen and we have a result immediately. Like, think about with your phone, you can transfer money from your bank account to your friend's account in a matter of seconds. And you can Google an answer to your question and have a million answers pop. And I don't know how long it takes to populate, but just a few minutes or a few seconds. And there's just so many things that happen so quickly. I mean, even in the middle of the day, if I have nothing to do, I could pull up Netflix or Hulu or YouTube and be inundated with options of what I want to watch next. Things are so quick and so easily accessible for us. But I feel like over the last month, we've seen that things that we've always had such an instantaneous answer for are challenged. There's no app for the season that we're living in with this COVID virus. There's no answer that happens right away. And I think that I know that over the last month, I've had opportunity to just with the Lord and just be still and really lean into His process and what He's doing. So I was looking at verses 13 and 14, and when I read them, it was almost as if I was writing this text to God, like I was writing that, texting it in my phone to God, because the scriptures in Psalms are, they're like a journal, right? They're David's heart just poured out on the pages, and sometimes we see all kinds of emotions from him. We see happy and sad and frustrated, and sometimes all in the same chapter. But when I read verses 13 and 14, I was like, man, like this is my heart, right? Being poured out in a text to God. And I can imagine myself writing, Lord, I'm confident in this. I am confident that we will see the goodness of you in the land of the living. And Lord, I wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart. Wait for the Lord. And as I text that, like I could imagine like the three little dots appearing where God is typing back a response and then just nothing. Right. And where I just felt like God left me on red. Like He read my message and He knew the struggle. And He's just like, I have an answer, but right now is not the time that you need to hear that. And so I've been reflecting on that a lot, right? Because so often we're so quick to want God to hurry up and give us an answer and to give us direction. But sometimes, I mean, the season that we're in is where it's at. That's where the things come to life. That's where the teaching happens. That's where the faith grows. And so this morning, I don't know what it is that you're waiting on. I don't know what you're frustrated about, but I am sure that there are things that have frustrated you over the last month, whether it be not being able to go to school or to work or not to gather for youth councils. That's my world. Whatever it is, God knows, right? And we've heard it said many, many times in this season that this virus, this thing did not surprise Him. And we know that, God wasn't like, what? COVID? No, like He already knew. And God's already doing things and developing within us and doing things to draw His people to Himself. So I don't know what it looks like today for you, what it is that you're waiting for, what it is that you're challenged with, but I know this. I remain confident of this, that I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. And so we wait for the Lord. We're strong and we take heart and we wait for Him because He is our good God. So I want to leave you with a few questions to just ponder. Just ask yourself these things today because I just wonder where you are in this season of waiting. What do I do when I feel like God has left me unread? How do I respond when I don't get the answer that I want or need right now? When God doesn't share the details of the plan with me, do I trust in His goodness? Friends, I got to be honest with you and tell you that question has really drawn me in. I mean, do I still trust him even when I can't see the details, even when I don't know the ins and outs? Do I still trust him? And lastly, how is God directing me to wait well during this time? We're not gathered right now with our friends and family of the church, but that doesn't mean that we can't be gathered with God. So, friends, I don't know how you're staying connected to Him, but I want to encourage you to be in the Word because there's no greater comfort than that comes from His written Word. These days are unprecedented, and we don't know what comes next, but He does.